I'm going to tell you guys about my prom prospecting date disaster my junior year of high school. I was desperately trying to find a date, and it was a roller coaster ride to say the least. And I learned a lot from the experience about sales, and I'm excited to share with you. It's a goofy story. I hope it puts a smile on your face and also inspires you to reach your potential in sales and in life, and to always keep perspective even when things aren't going your way. If you get value out of this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel for weekly videos committed to your success in tech sales and in life. And don't be a stranger. Feel free to email me at chrisbustingchannel@gmail.com or book time through my Calendly link linked in the description of this video to talk about your goals and how I can support you in your tech sales journey. All right, it's story time. So junior year of high school, I was terrified of girls, but I had big ambitions to find an amazing prom date. And I knew exactly who I wanted to ask to the prom. It was Rachel. She was a dancer, she was intelligent, she was beautiful, she had it all, and I'd had a crush on her for over a year. Now, I was a shy guy and I hadn't talked to Rachel much, but we had a few friendly encounters, and I finally mustered up the courage to tell myself that I was going to ask her out the coming Friday. Well, what do you know? Thursday rolls around, the day before I'm going to ask her out. I already had some chocolates that I bought, and I wrote a card, and I had a creative idea of how I was going to get it to her. And I find out that my buddy, Alex, asked her to prom, and she said yes. He beat me to it. Sales lesson number 1 is when you're sitting on your hands, not taking action, and you're too slow to the draw, your competition is moving fast and they're gonna close the deal. So shoot your shot sooner than later. That was actually really disappointing. I was super excited to ask Rachel, but then my buddy comes in and sweeps her off her feet. And you know what? I decided to just bounce back from it and, like Jay-Z, move on to the next one. So next, I set my sights on asking out Gigi, one of Rachel's friends. She was really smart, she was nice, and we actually talked a good amount, and we got along pretty well. But when I went to ask Gigi out to prom, she told me, "Chris, I feel like I'm number 2. You were gonna ask Rachel, and I'd rather go with someone where I'm their top choice." This rejection taught me sales lesson number 2. Every prospect wants to feel like they're the most important prospect in the world. And if you don't make them feel like they're the most important prospect in the world, they're gonna say, "Hey, see you later. I'm gonna wait for the next one who actually makes me feel that way." After my second rejection on my prom prospecting journey, I decided, what do I have to lose? I've been rejected twice. I'm gonna ask out Anna, the most attractive girl in my whole high school. Anna was gorgeous. She was also very smart, had a good personality, and I came up with the most creative idea to ask her out because the prettiest girl in school deserved that, right? I thought to myself, I got rejected twice, so I might as well go all out for the prettiest girl in school. Let me look online at super creative ways to ask girls out, and I landed on one that I thought was pretty cool. The idea was to go to buy a goldfish at PetSmart and then put the goldfish in the girls' bathroom and then have a friend of hers, who in this case was Megan, lead her into the bathroom, and then she'd find the goldfish with a note on the bowl saying, "Of all the fish in the sea, I choose you." And so I actually had my mom take me to PetSmart. I got a goldfish, and as I was driving in with that goldfish to school the next day to ask Anna out, my buddy Ken called me up. Now, Ken was my best friend. He was a lot cooler than me. He was one of the popular kids. He hung out with Anna, who was a varsity basketball player and the best player on our team. And he said, "Chris, don't ask Anna out. She told me that she's never even talked to you before, and if you asked her out, she'd have to say no because you really don't know each other." So I didn't go through with it. I left the goldfish with my mom, and I told her to give it to my younger sister, which she did. And then the goldfish died the next day, along with my hopes and dreams of taking Anna out to prom. Sales lesson number 3 for my third rejection is you can't just go from 0 to 100 with a prospect. You got to build trust. You got to actually have conversations and build a relationship over time before going for the sale and trying to close the deal. Even after being rejected 3 times, I didn't give up, and I set my sights on asking one more girl to prom. It was Sophie. She was the new foreign exchange student from Germany. And she really didn't know many people, and I thought, I've got a handful of weeks, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, to build some type of trust and a relationship with Sophie and get to know her so that I can ask her out to be my date. And so one day at lunch, I saw her out in the courtyard sitting by herself. I sat down and we talked, and she was super nice and we had a good conversation. And I got her number, and I even saw her out at a school play, and we talked and we were vibing. And I thought, you know what? It's time to ask Sophie. So I got her a stuffed animal, a card, and some chocolates, again, going overboard. And I brought those things to school and put them in her locker, because at our high school in Naples, Florida, we actually didn't lock our lockers, which is kind of crazy. It's like a bubble. People are super trusting, and yeah, it's kind of crazy. So I put it in her locker, and later in the day, I went back over by her lockers, and she was there, and I was like, Sophie, hey. And she said, hey, Chris, you know what? Thank you so much for, the invitation to prom and the chocolates and the stuffed animal. But I have a boyfriend in Germany. And Sophie let me down easy, but it was my 4th rejection. And at this point, I was like, maybe I'm just not meant to go with a date to prom this year. It is what it is. And I learned my 4th sales lesson, which is you could do everything right when it comes to pursuing a prospect and still have it not work out because it's not the right timing. And maybe they're happy with the competition. You can't take it personally. So what I ended up doing is going to prom with my guy friend Smith, not as dates, but just as bros, as friends. We wore all white tuxes and had a good time. And I got a pity dance from Rachel, who was with my buddy Alex, who had asked her out before me. And I had a decent time, and I just had a good attitude. And the next year, senior year, I came into it with a fresh perspective, and I focused on myself. I was playing varsity baseball, I was in theater, I was president of a student association, and what do you know, my prom date came to me. One day someone said, Chris, you should ask Lauren out to prom. And I was like, oh, really? And I invited Lauren out to my senior night. I was one of the best varsity baseball players on the team. And senior night is a special night where each of the seniors goes out on the field before the game, and the broadcaster will say where they're going to school and a little bit about them. And they said, Chris Bussing will be going to Georgetown University, and he's so grateful for his experience here at the Community School of Naples. And finally, he would like to ask Lauren blah, blah, blah to the prom. I had the announcer ask my prom date out over the loudspeakers, and Lauren stood up like out of a movie, put her hands over her face and said, yes, she yelled out to me, and everyone was going crazy. And it was the most beautiful moment. I felt amazing. And Lauren and I went to prom, and we had the best time. We danced, and it was truly special. And the lesson I learned from all of this is you could be at your lowest of lows. You might be going through a rut. You're not getting the results you want in life, but if you hold your head up high and keep going and keep investing in yourself and showing up, good things will eventually come. And you could go from prom disaster, prom embarrassment, to prom glory, to being the prom king. You could go from losing a deal over a year ago, like I did, to the competition, to winning that deal for the long run, building a true growth-oriented partnership, which I just closed this past week. You can go from being fired in 2 straight consecutive sales roles for underperformance to closing multiple $50 million deals and becoming the author of Mega Deal Secrets. I'm speaking of Jamal Raymer, who is that author and that person that did that, and it's pretty freaking incredible. With enough persistence, the impossible becomes possible. And your guys' dreams and goals in love and in life and in sales and entrepreneurship are available to you. Just keep showing up and never give up. No matter what results you're getting today, the results you want are available to you. I'm here to support you on your tech sales journey, on your personal growth journey, and to help you get the most out of tech sales and out of life. If you got value out of this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel for weekly videos that are committed to raising you up and elevating your game. And guys, thank you for being here. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.